up, everybody? What is up? Man, this R. Kelly story just gets crazier and crazier. Every day you look up, there's something new. Now, I've always had a theory is that they always try to blast some type of negativity in the media to keep R. Kelly persecuted in the public media every time you get close to the trial dates, right? And you guys can let me know if you think that's true. Comments below. So I actually don't have time to be making videos right now. I know I owe a legal analysis video to some of the people who've come to my page and requested it. And I didn't really have an intent to make this video, and I don't have time to make this video, but it's just so crazy that I can't, just let this one go by. There's been plenty of headlines that I've let go by, and I can't let this go by. And it goes, R. Kelly sexually abused teenage boy he met in McDonald's and bribed officials for information about his legal case. Prosecutors allege, right? And yeah, I mean, this is just so crazy, so out of left field. And to me, it just confirms my theory that, there's a strategy to keep R. Kelly persecuted in the public eye every time there's time for a new trial or a new court date or something along those lines, right? So to me, this just doesn't make any sense, and it almost looks desperate because it's so left field. It's so left field, it's so crazy, right? And this article is by Aliyah Shoaib. Aliyah Shoaib, right? Hopefully I'm pronouncing her name right. So it goes, New York prosecutors filed a 55-page motion seeking permission to admit new evidence in R. Kelly's trial. The filing alleged that R. Kelly bribed officials and sexually abused, right? You can see that word, sexually abused underage boys. The disgraced R&B singer is due to stand trial on August 9th in New York on racketeering charges. And then it says, visit Insider's homepage for more stories. We're not going to do that. On Friday, prosecutors in New York filed a 55-page motion asking a judge for permission to admit new evidence in R. Kelly's sexual abuse trial. Federal prosecutors say they have evidence of several previously uncharged crimes committed by Kelly, including bribing officials for information and sexually abusing underage boys. This is crazy. This is crazy because, I don't know R. Kelly, and I don't know what he does on a day-to-day basis, but I have never, ever seen R. Kelly with boys. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like I just can't even compute, this nonsense. It just makes absolutely no sense how they're coming up with this stuff. But again, I have a theory that, they inject stuff like this into the media, hoping that a potential juror would see this so that, when the trial comes, this will be in the back of their minds, right? And of course, another theory is that, they're injecting stuff like this into the internet, into the media, to create kind of like this public outrage, right? Anyway, the R&B singer whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, 54, is set to face trial on August 9th in federal court in New York. He's facing racketeering charges for allegedly running an elaborate criminal enterprise to kidnap and sexually exploit young women. The original New York indictment from March 2020 refers to 6 victims. The latest filings refers to 20 Jane Does and 2 John Does. Wow. This is crazy. According to NPR, one of the new allegations made by prosecutors is that in 2006, Kelly began sexual relationship with a 17-year-old boy he met in McDonald's in Chicago. This is just crazy. Like I said, I have no idea if this is true, and if it is true, if it is true, and I don't believe it is, but if it is, I mean, you just never know. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know R. Kelly. I don't know what he does on a day-to-day basis. I can't imagine something like this would be true. But if it is true, um, I hope that people don't take this video as me, uh, you know, I guess blaming victims or abusing victims or whatever. But I just don't believe something like this is true. It just doesn't make any sense, right? And then it goes, according to the filing, the boy introduced Kelly to a second teenage boy, age 16 or 17, with who Kelly also had a sexual relationship with. Prosecutors alleged that the singer coerced the second boy to have sex with others, which he often videotaped. Wow. In the complaint, prosecutors added that they have a witness who claims that Kelly made her download um, inappropriate videos involving boys. Prosecutors also alleged that in 2019, R. Kelly bribed a Cook County clerk in Illinois in an attempt to gain information about his legal case following the release of the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. Let me see. The document cites an audio recording of a phone call between Kelly and his crisis manager. Oh, wow. This is interesting. Everybody knows about, the crisis manager, which I just call a publicist. And, everyone knows about his exit from this case. So it's interesting that they're bringing him up now. The document cites an audio recording of a phone call between Kelly and his crisis manager. They discuss bribing the clerk with 2,500 and providing them with a burner phone to relay information back to Kelly's team. Interesting. This is some very serious allegations. Very, 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 very serious, right? Prosecutors also want to introduce evidence that in 1994, Kelly bribed an Illinois state employee with $500 to create fake ID for underage singer Aaliyah so that he could marry her. I mean, but this doesn't make sense because you've already made that allegation in the original complaint, right? So I don't understand what you're trying to do now. The court filings allege that Kelly believed he had impregnated Leah, then 15, and wanted to marry her so that he could not be made to testify against himself. I'm sorry, I'm messing this up. So she could not be made to testify against him in court. Aaliyah died in a plane crash in 2001. Prosecutors also want to play videos and audio recordings of the jury showing that Kelly physically and verbally abused women. Other allegations include filing unlawful imprisonment, hush money payments, and physical abuse. Kelly remains in prison in Brooklyn and has pleaded not guilty to all the charges against him. Excuse me. In addition to the New York trial, Kelly also faces charges of possessing inappropriate videos. You guys can see what that is here. And again, if you have any trouble viewing the text in this video, you can just click on the settings and you can increase the rate at which you view the videos. I forget what it's called, but there's a setting where you can enhance a video so that you can see the text, right? And then it goes on, the Chicago trial is currently scheduled for September. Read the original article in Insider. I'm not going to click on that. So what do you guys think about this? I mean, is this crazy? I mean, this is like batshit crazy. I have never heard any allegations whatsoever about underage boys, and now it just seems like it's just kind of being thrown in there at the last minute. To me, it just makes no freaking sense whatsoever. To me, I want to say that maybe the prosecutors are desperate, so they're working with people who are coming up with allegations like this, but we don't know that this is actually the work of the prosecutors. It could just be the work of some unseen hand who basically want to destroy this man. So they're constantly pumping ridiculous articles into the media like this. Like I said, one is a hope that you get this public outcry, you get these rumors started, so that people can just really view R. Kelly as a monster. And then two, there's a theory that I have whereby if a potential juror sees this, and they're not really paying attention, they'll take this information and they'll store it in the back of their mind. And it's not that you do things like this purposely. It's just that, the way that things work. I mean, you just see things, you're not really focused on it, you're not paying attention, but your mind, for whatever reason, records it and it gets stored in your subconscious, right? So when you go to trial, you already have this garbage uploaded in your psyche, right? You don't even know it's there, right? So I don't know. This is just getting crazier and crazier and crazy. I don't know if they can. I don't know if it can get any more crazier than this. I really don't. Um, you guys, let me know what you think. Again, I don't really have time to be making videos. This was just something I saw and I clicked on it and I was like, what? It just doesn't make any sense. And I just thought I had to share this, right? Just to get you guys' opinion and to see what you guys think. Um, Definitely leave your comments below. Do you think any of this stuff is true? Right? Do you think that Kales is out there going after underage boys? Do you think this is true? Or do you think Kale is out there going for men, period? Based on the witness testimony, right? Based on the alleged victim's testimony, I'm sorry, based on the alleged victim's testimony and some of the witnesses, right? I have never heard any of them make these type of allegations. In fact, I think I can recall someone, one of the alleged victims, specifically being asked if R. Kelly was gay or bisexual, and they said no, right? Um, yeah, this is just some crazy stuff, man. Just some really crazy stuff. I just think at this point people are just making stuff up, and I just kind of wonder who Aaliyah Shoaib is. Shoaib. I just really wonder who this is. Let's just do a quick search and see if we can. It looks like this could be the Twitter account. Looks like this person is an economist. Let's see. Images. I don't know if this is the lady who wrote the article. I don't know. But it looks like she's an economist, right? Uh, and you know what? Come to think of it, I could imagine that there's an industry for this type of thing whereby you want to launch an internet campaign against someone, you want to destroy someone. You could potentially, I would imagine that there's a market where you can find journalists to write ridiculous stories, or you can find journalists to piggyback on nonsense that is being filed in court. There's a market for things of that nature where you want to destroy someone, you can get information, and then you give that information over to a journalist, and that journalist puts this information out there. I can imagine that there's a market for that. I am not saying that Aaliyah Shoaib is part of all this. She could just be a writer, who, like everyone else, who read the court documents and essentially just blogged about it. But I just think this type of stuff is just a little shameful, right? But apparently, I guess we will click on. Apparently, it looks like she probably just copied this from the Insider, right? So, if I had time, if I had the enough time, I would investigate how they put this together, right? Whether or not, because you almost have to investigate the relationship between the prosecutors and the people who actually are writing these articles. And 9 times out of 10, you probably won't be able to find any connection, or you won't find a nexus between all those people. But it makes you wonder how they coordinate stuff like this. It just could be a coincidence. Just like I blog about things, I see things and I blog about it right away. just like any other blogger. It could be just as simple as that. But just a crazy allegation, and it's coming out of the middle of nowhere, and it just makes you wonder, and it just makes you think. So crazy, right? Anyway, it looks like the Insider was the first to actually post this article. I don't know much about the Insider, right? Rkelly sexually abused teenage boys he met at McDonald's and bribed officials for information about his legal case, prosecutors allege. Yeah, and it's actually just word for word, right? So it looks like they wanted this in two different media outlets. They wanted it on Yahoo and they wanted it on the Insider. And I'm pretty sure it's going to spread like wildfire to all the other media outlets, right? Um, and like I said, it looks like it's really just word for word, just a direct copy and paste, right? Crazy. Prosecutors allege that in 2019, R. Kelly bribed in Cook County. Yeah, it's word for word. But that's it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. How crazy is this? How crazy is this? To me, this just shows you that they're trying to do any and everything they can to destroy this man. And they are keeping the pressure on. They are keeping the pressure on, and they are not letting up. The powers that be, I'm not going to accuse anybody. I'm just going to say the powers that be, that unforeseen hand is going to make sure that this man is destroyed. He must be destroyed. And that's why you see these crazy articles that pop up when it comes close to his trial date. And like I said, I wonder if there's any type of relationship or connection, between the prosecutor's office who's filing this stuff, because this just came out 16 hours ago. I don't know when this special motion was filed, but I wonder if there's any link. But like I said, you can't assume things like that, because what happens is that people are blogging, and as soon as something filed, they're going to take that and then they're going to basically blog on it and put their own spin on it, right? And I do that, right? So I'm not necessarily saying that there's some type of deep conspiracy out there, but to me it just feels like there is. R. Kelly appears in court in Chicago, and then this is Tony Perez, Associated Press. Okay, so we just went from Yahoo to the Insider to the Associated Press. Let's see if we can find out who Tony Perez is for the Associated Press. All right. And I'm just following the breadcrumbs. I have no idea if this is going to come to anything, right? I don't know if this is Antonio Perez. I don't know. Associated Press. Yeah, sometimes you just kind of have to follow the breadcrumbs. Okay, prosecutors air more claims in R. Kelly case. One involves a boy. And this is written by Jennifer Peltz. And this was yesterday, right? And it's probably going to be word for word again. Federal prosecutors in R. Kelly's Mex trafficking case say he had a sexual contact with an underage boy in addition to girls, and the government wants jurors in his upcoming sexual trafficking trial to hear those claims. I don't know why it didn't click the first time. But this goes back to the Bill Cosby case, right? Where they're getting these these allegations from witnesses, from alleged victims rather, to come in out of nowhere and testify in this case. And I think that becomes a little prejudicial, right? And there's videos. I'm sorry. There's rules and procedures that basically discuss witness testimony, right? Because basically they're trying to establish character, right? And what they're trying to do is that they're trying to bring in all these other people who aren't even involved in the case, right? And they're trying to get these people to testify that Rkelly or that, the defendant has violated them some way. And then what happens is that you have all these people testifying, saying these horrible things about, Rkelly. Then the average person is going to say, "Oh, well, he must be guilty if all these people come forward." But the reality is that uh, typically you can't have people come in and testify like that, um, because there's specific rules on that. Let me see. And like I said, I don't even have time for this. Where would I start? United States District. No, what district court? Let's go here. No, let's go to US.gov. Department of Justice. Department of Justice. Let's go here. Uh, let's see. Rules of evidence. And maybe I need to do a proper video and look this stuff up beforehand instead of holding you guys hostage while I look it up. Rules of evidence, and then let's see, witness testimony. Because I know I looked over this before. Man, I wish I had more time. Let me see. Rules of evidence, character, witness. When character evidence is admissible, rule 4.5. Oh, that's what we need. We need the. I know what we need now. We need the U.S. Code of Criminal Procedure. That's what we need. Okay, so the U.S. Code of Criminal Procedures, crimes, criminal procedure, prisons and persons, correction of youth offenders, immunities and witnesses, immunity of witnesses. Okay, so we want to go to probably procedure. Hopefully I'm right here. General provisions, arrests and common rewards for information concerning terrorist acts, searches and seizures, pen registers and trap devices, release and detention, speedy trial, extradition, jurisdiction venue, military. Come on, where is this? Witness and evidence. Okay, so this is the section that we want here. All right, so front matter, competency of accused, evidence, and witness rule. I think we want to read this. So now, if we click on this, it doesn't give us much. Competency and privilege of witnesses and admissibility of evidence governed by principles of common law, Rule 26. Yeah, I mean, I could probably make a 3-hour video on just this topic alone, but what I'm trying to is essentially show you is that there are some specific rules that, the court has to follow when it comes down to allowing witnesses to, to testify, right? And this is basically going to be a character witness, and typically you wouldn't allow people to come in and basically give testimony, because it would basically prejudice the defendant, right? So what they're trying to do is typically not allowed. They know it's not allowed. Indigent defendants, subpoenas, expert witnesses. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to lay this down for now. But if you guys want me to um, actually do a video on this, a more extensive video, let me know, and I can definitely do that. Admissibility of confessions, admissibility in evidence of eyewitnesses, that might be good. Litigation concerning sources of evidence, that may be good. Custody return of foreign witnesses. Review of requests. So, you know what? Testimony of witness that saw the accused commit a or participate in commission of a crime for which the accused is being tried shall be admissible in evidence in criminal prosecution in any trial court ordained and established under Article 3 of the Constitution of the United States. So let me just try to use this to actually get my point across. So what I'm trying to say is that what they're trying to do is that they're trying to allow these allegations to come into this trial, but he's not actually being charged by those allegations. Federal prosecutors in Rkelly sex trafficking case say he had a sexual contact with underage boys in addition to girls, and the government wants jurors in his upcoming sex trafficking trial to hear those claims, right? So here's the thing. If they are actually trying to add different additional claims to this case, that may be possible, right? But if you're going to do that, then in my personal opinion, then Rkelly, by right, it should have time to prepare for these additional claims so that, he can prepare a defense. So then that date needs to be pushed back. However, if what you're trying to do is basically bring these allegations into court, and at the same time he's not being charged for those allegations, then that evidence or that testimony should not be admitted into court. That's what I'm basically trying to say. And that's what they did to Bill Cosby, because what they did is that they allow all these women to come forward and basically make these allegations in court to give character evidence against Bill Cosby. But at the same time, Bill Cosby isn't being charged by these allegations that these women are making. So he doesn't really have an opportunity to defend himself against these allegations. So something like that is definitely a big no-no, and it's against the, it's basically unlawful, right? So if you're going to have people coming in giving testimony when it comes down to the defendant, then those people need to either charge the defendant with those crimes, or not allow those people to come into court. That's how I understand it. But anyway, I'm just going to end this video right here, because like I said, it's I don't really have time to make a video, but if people are interested in this content, let me know, and I will make an attempt to basically make an extensive video on character evidence and witness testimony and so on and so forth. But that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think. Do you think these people should be allowed to come to court and testify this late in the game? Do you think that the prosecutors should be able to add additional charges this late in the game? And do you think that, the prosecutors or the court should allow these people to give character evidence, against these alleged victims that he can't even defend himself against at this point in time? That's it. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.